Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And welcome to the service that is a joint service of Temple Shalom and the Temple. We're so happy to have everyone here and to welcome everyone here. And we're excited about the program and hearing tonight from survivors from the massacre on October 7 done by the Hamas. We begin our service singing together, Hinei Matov Umanaim, how good and how pleasant it is to be here and to celebrate and welcome Shabbat.
Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov, Hinei Matov, Ya la 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 la. Hinei Matov, Hinei Matov, Ya la 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 la. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Ya la 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 la. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
And I would like to invite Zach and Aaron and their family to lead us in the blessing over the candles and the fruit of the vine. Zach and Aaron are going to have their bar mitzvah tomorrow. Please come, all of you. We're turning to page 2 for the blessing over the candles. Just read this.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'tivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lihadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And we turn to page 5 for the blessing for the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon Chinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikrayeh kodesh zacher l'yetziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'otanu ki ashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahava u'ratzon Chinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Makadesh
Shabbat. Amen.
And I would like to invite Nick and Kate, who are about to be married, to lead us with a blessing for Israel. There are handouts with the prayer for Israel, so everyone can join Nick and Kate as they lead us with the blessing.
Our nurturer, our parent, in heaven and on earth, rock of Israel and its Redeemer, bless the land of Israel and with it the state of Israel, so that the state of Israel may become the beginning of the flowering of our redemption. Shield her with your embrace of love and spread over her your sukkah, shelter of peace, and send your light and your righteousness to her leaders, ministers, advisors, and to the ones that elect them, and to her judges. May they be stalwart to bring justice and strengthen the voice of those who support democracy. Align them all with the divine spirit of justice. As it says, Zion through justice will be redeemed, and her captives through righteousness. Rescue all who dwell from the Jordan River to the sea, from blood spilling, all residing and sojourning there under every government, from haters from outside and hatred within. Grant peace and abundance and healing throughout the land, and secure calm to her defenders, a lasting joy to all her inhabitants, and real hope for all her peoples. And let us say, Amen. I'm Israel. Hi.
Don't go yet. There's a blessing for you guys. And we say to you, מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב, שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך את החתן ואת הכלה, אשר בקרוב יתקשרו בקשר קדושת הנישואים. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Nick and Kate, who are soon to enter the holy covenant of marriage. May God grant that your marriage will always be one of love and blessing. May it be fruitful and bring contentment and satisfaction. May the Eternal One grant that you establish within the house of Israel an abode of love and loyalty, a haven of peace and holiness, a home in which children can grow in health and happiness, with a love for Torah and the practice of good deeds. And let us all say together, Amen. And we want to shower you with some... Wow, it's hard to shower the two of you. And we turn now to page 24 to welcome the messengers of Shabbat as we sing together Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malchi Hasharet, Alchi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malchi HaShalom, Malchi Elyon. Mi melech Malchi HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malchi HaShalom, Malchi Elyon. Mi melech Malchi HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidkem l'shalom, Malchi HaShalom, Malchi Elyon. Mi
I ask the congregation to please rise as we continue on page 28 for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. We remain standing as we continue on page 30 with our blessing for creation, Ma'ariv Aravim in English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha-ma'ariv aravim. And we continue now on page 34 with Shema Yisrael, the watchword of our faith, declaring there's one God in heaven and on earth.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
After the children of Israel crossed the Sea of Reeds into freedom, they sang words, they danced and rejoiced. And today we know that freedom cannot be taken for granted, especially for the hostages that are still being held in Gaza. So as we think of the history of our people and we think of the Israelis that are still in captivity, we join together on page 40 with the chanting of, the singing of Mi Chamocha.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nara tehilot osef eleh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
As the night falls, we ask God to watch over us and keep us safe. Let's join together in the middle of page 43 in English with our Hashkivenu prayer. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue on the bottom of page 44 with the singing of Yismechu.
Shamre, 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 Shabbat, bekore, onek Shabbat, yismechu, v'malekutecha, shamre, 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 Shabbat, bekore, onek Shabbat. Mikarishi shivi Shabbat, kulam yisviu v'dangu mitovecha Shabbat, yismechu v'malekutecha, shamre, 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 Shabbat, bekore, onek Shabbat, ismechu v'malekutecha, ועיר, רצית בו וקידשת שבת, חינות יומים, אותו קראת שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי 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 שבת, לקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי 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 שבת, לקורא עונג שבת, זכי למעשה בראשית שבת, זכי למעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת.
We've come now to the main part of our service, the Amidah, the Tefillah. I invite the congregation to please rise as we continue on page 46.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 48, we join together in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. On page 50, we continue in English with the Gibborot. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You cause the wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all, through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. On 52, we continue in English with Kedusha. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We continue now on page 60 with the singing of Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. We continue to pray that peace will come not only to Israel and to the whole Middle East, but to all of God's children around the world.
Amen.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki Atohu Malach Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov b'einecha levarich et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
We continue silently with Tefillat Halev, the prayers of our own hearts. At this time, we call to mind our loved ones who are in need of prayers of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, mind, and spirit. As we hold them close to our heart, we join together in our Mishaberach prayer for healing, which can be found in the middle of page 253.
May the source of strength Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I want to thank the Jewish Federation of Louisville for initiating and making this program and bringing into our city Israeli Giborim, heroes of light from Israel, and to acknowledge the leadership of the Federation that is here, and especially Sarah Wagner, who is the president and CEO of the Federation, and other members of the Federation that are here with us. We're all very excited to host here 3 courageous women from Israel that are here with us for a short time. We hope that you find some compassion and love here in our fair city of Louisville. We want to extend all the love in the world to the 3 of you and to your friend that is in KI tonight. I want to invite Sharon Anna Yacobi from Kibbutz Gevim and Zohar Lav Shefer from Kibbutz Gevim to speak, and I want to acknowledge Galit Mutzrafi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, who is also here with us tonight. Thank you very much for being here. Please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zohar. I live in Kibbutz Gevim, 1.2 miles from Gaza. I've been there at the last 9 years. But I was born and raised in Kibbutz Nahal Oz, half a mile from Gaza. I have 3 gorgeous kids, 21-year-old girl serving in the army, 18-year-old graduated from school last year, and a 13-year-old boy. I do have a younger sister who lives in Nahal Oz with her 3 children. And I want to thank you for having us and be willing to listen to our story. I want to start in October 8th, noon. After 30 hours that we've been in the safe room, we've been told it is safe enough to evacuate. Not really safe, because there are still terrorists around, but safe enough to have a safe route to leave the area. And me and my husband took the cars. He went first with the kids. And 5 minutes later, I went, and he's calling me, saying, when you go out the front gate, do not look aside. Look straight ahead. and I drive out of the kibbutz, and you cannot look only straight ahead. And I cannot believe what I see. It was apocalyptic. It's a highway, few meters out of our kibbutz, and through miles at the side of the road, there are cars burnt, covered with shooting holes. The doors are open, and bodies everywhere. And all I can think is, this is the entrance to my home. This is how the end of the world looks like. At Shabbat morning, we woke up at 6:30 a.m. from a very heavy rocket attack. It's crazy to say, but we're used to rocket attack because for the past 20-something years, we had it multiple times, sometimes every 6 months, sometimes every few weeks, sometimes every few days. And we have at every house what we call a safe room that is supposed to protect us from missile attack. But this safe room was not meant to keep you from terrorists. So you cannot lock the door from the inside. No one thought about it. As a matter of fact, you can't lock it because when they design it, they thought that it's more safe not to lock the door. So if someone needs to rescue you, it'll be easier. So it started like another missile attack that we're familiar with. And whenever something like this happened, me and my sister are talking to each other. I'm calling her, or we're texting to make sure first to say, oh no, it's another, I'm being nice not to say other words, but it's another missile attack. Are you in the safe room? How's the kids? Are you okay? And this is what we did in Shabbat morning. And after that, less than half an hour, messages started to arrive that something is wrong and that are rumors about terrorists being in the area. And at first, we thought, well, that's terrible, but we probably talk about few terrorists that manage somehow to get into Israel, and in no time, the IDF will take care of it. And after less than an hour, we understood that we're facing something we're not familiar with, and that our worst nightmare, as one that grew up and lived there in the area my entire life, our worst nightmare became reality. So I'm telling my sister, did you lock the door? The front door, not the safe room. And she says, yes. And we're sitting inside and waiting for the IDF. And my sister is a nurse. So after, I think, another half an hour, she's writing me, we're having a catastrophe here. And I'm saying, what do you mean? And she's writing, terrorists entered one of the houses and shot an elderly woman, and her husband is wounded. And he called my sister to say, will you be able to tell me over the phone, because he understood there's no chance she will get to him, if she can help him over the phone to tell him what to do with his wounds. By that time, we realized, because it was on television, and we don't have television in our safe room, but people started calling me, family, friends, frantic phone calls, saying, are you okay? Because it's live on TV. There are terrorists everywhere. And if you could see the text messages that my sister and I had that day, you'll see that every half hour we are like, where's the IDF? No one's coming. And I'm sitting in the safe room. We heard gunshots very close. And after some time, we realized that we were in Givim, very lucky, because terrorists came to the front gate, and our defense team that we have in each kibbutz, that they're supposed to bring the first, to be there first, but only for a few minutes until the IDF will arrive. So they were at the front gate, and they managed to scare those terrorists away. But they managed to do that only because there were only 6 or 7 of them that arrived. But in Nahal Oz, there were hundreds of them. So at that point, I knew that they're going from house to house in Nahal Oz. And I cannot describe the horror of sitting, not being able to do anything. No one is coming to help. And I'm just praying that they will not enter my sister's house. And one of the things that happened that day is that Hamas didn't just want to kill, they wanted to spread fear. So they actually took live videos. And around noon, there was a live video that was taken from a cell phone of a family that the daughter, Mayan, is my middle one, best friend. The family was in the safe room, and because you cannot lock the door, people were holding the handle for hours, having the fight of their lives to keep it closed. The one who managed to do that survived, but not all of them could. So Mayan's father, Tzachi, was holding the door, and when he realized that he's going to lose, she stood up to help him, and at that point, the door was slightly opened, and the terrorist put a gun there and shot, and she was killed. And it was live. They took the family out of the safe room to the living room. Her father, with his hands full of her blood. And sometime after that, they took him. And he's been since then in Gaza for the past 140 days. At her funeral, this is Mayan, and this is Tzachi. As part of the fight to bring him back, we had these shirts. And like her mom and her grandmother told me, they had not had the chance to even moan or understand that she's gone, because they're having the fight of their lives to bring him back. And my daughter, Dana, she is seeing the film, the video, and she is hysterically telling me, Ima, tell me it's not true. Tell me she's not dead. She lost 3 18-year-old friends that day. Mayan was one of them. Another one was Tchelet. Tchelet was murdered in Nahal Oz with her entire family, except for her youngest sibling, who went out that day running like he's doing every Shabbat morning. And when missile attacks started, the commander of our defense team got a phone call from his mother telling him he's outside, could you find him and put him someplace safe? And he went, found him, and put him at his own house. And that's why he survived. And another friend was murdered in Be'eri. And the week after, we went from funeral to funeral to funeral, sometimes twice a day. And I keep saying that we don't even have the words to describe what really happened that day, because the language that we know doesn't seem to describe what we felt and the pure evil that we saw that day. My sister was very lucky, and terrorists did not enter her house. And at 2 a.m., the IDF took them, went from house to house, took whoever survived, and evacuated them. And they've been up north since they're almost 5 months now. So one of the reasons that I decided to leave Israel and do all the way to here is to tell the stories of those who can't, and to say that it's unbelievable that after 140 days, we still have hostages in Gaza, that we don't know where they are. We do know that they're in very bad shape, that they've been kept in tunnels, underground, with no air, with no light, with very little food, sometimes with no water. And the only reason that we know is not because they were allowing anyone to meet with them, is that some came back and told their stories. Now people are saying Israel is going to win this war, we need to do this or that. And I say, we lost. We lost that day. It doesn't matter how the war is going to end. We lost the people we love. We lost the lives that we had. But if there's one thing that we owe to our friends and family and the members of our communities, is to bring them back.
Good evening, everybody. Hi. Shabbat Shalom, first of all. My name is Sharon Anna Yacobi. I live in Kibbutz Kevim, same as Zohar. I'm married to Gilad, wonderful man. He's a kindergarten teacher, forest kindergarten teacher. And I have 3 kids. My oldest one is 14 and a half, 13, and 8 and a half. I'll start, I don't know how to shove everything. It's 24 hours, 30 hours. They've been in the safe room. We did so many things, and we're still doing. I just want to let you know that we're still in war. We're struggling every day. I'm a teacher in high school in Sderot. It's the nearest town that we have. Sderot is about 0.8 mile away from the border. And my students, I want to say that my students are my heroes. I love them so much. And one of the reasons that I came is to speak on their behalf, also to tell you what they've been struggle. And they're just a kid. They are, sometimes they're naughty, sometimes they're not coming up and not getting up for classes, and I have to call them. Sometimes the parents not there because they're working and they're raising themselves. They have to take care of babysitter, the brothers and sisters. And on that day, we call it Shabbat Arura, the horrible Shabbat that we had. My daughter was the first one to get up from the whistle of the Iron Dome that we have behind the kibbutz, because every kibbutz have one. And you can hear the whistle before you hear the alarm. You know, area, the alarm is they talk to us to make us calm. It's not like the same alarm that we have all over the country. The sirens that you have, for example, for a tornado alarm, it's the same. And we have an alarm that they're talking to us saying, red color, tseva adom. My kids, my students, everybody in the area, they know how to protect themselves. They have 15 seconds to get to a safe room, to a bomb shelter on the street, on the field, on the suckers. We have them all over the places. Sometimes we don't have them in the places when we're going in the backyard of the kibbutz or in the fields. But they know how to protect themselves. Everybody knows to lay down and put the hands on the head and wait for a few seconds till you hear the bomb exploding. They've been living like that. That's their life. Like Zohar said, for 20 years. I have a lot of guilt for raising my kids in that area. That's my husband's home. That's where he grew up. I studied there in university over there. I fell in love with that place because you have all the 4 seasons over there, and it's amazing. And if you're ever over there, please come to visit us. But the last 20 years, it's horrible living over there. And that Shabbat, I had to run with my family to the safe room. I was hosting also my nieces over there. They're from the south, from the Ramat Sharon. It's near Tel Aviv, in the center of Israel. So they don't know what is an alarm. It's not the same. They didn't want to evacuate to the safe room because they didn't know what it is. But I'm a good mother, so I just grabbed them and I picked them up and I took them to the safe room because we have 15 seconds, which is not much. I had to wake up my middle son, Oded, because he's used to it and he's got plenty of time and he knows how to time himself when he needed. And I forced him also to come to the safe room. It sounds different. There was a lot of missiles coming, not just 1 or 2. And Or was already in the safe room because that's his room. So he didn't even wake up. My husband shut the window, the iron window that we have, and we put the mattress on the floor. I put the dog inside because even the dog knows when there's alarm. He wants to be in the safe room. At that point, the girls started to ask my husband why we're in the safe room. They didn't understand it, so he started to explain what we always explain. It's a safe room, it's against missiles. We have sometimes rock missiles coming from Gaza. Don't worry, it will pass, everything will be okay, but missiles did not stop for a long time. I text my sister, because that's what we do, same as Zohar. We always try to see what's going on with the rest of the family. My sister, she's a kindergarten teacher in Kfar Aza, the burning kibbutz, where the burned houses. Abigail and Bodetz, Abigail, the young girl who was kidnapped from her kindergarten. I asked her if she's okay, if they're in their safe room. And the next thing I did is I texted to my kids from my school, because that's the way I am. I'm a teacher. And Tair was the first one of the girls, to say and to write that there's terrorists in her house, and she ran to the neighbors. And after she did that, everybody else started to text about the terrorist around, and there's a terrorist in that area. And today, accidentally, I was looking at the text, and I saw that after a month, I wanted to remember what was happening over there, because we did a lot of things. I did a lot of things in that day. So I did a screenshot of all of the messages in that day, and I organized them by minutes, seconds, to remember. And they started to send me also videos from the security cameras that they have in the houses. You can see the terrorists coming with RPG, if you know what it is. It's like a big gun, and trying to get inside their houses. And all this time, I'm a mother. I have to make sure that everybody's okay, and smile and be calm. The girls went to sleep, so we had time. I text my husband, do you want to know what's going on? We don't open the TV in my house, because we are against violence, and I don't want to expose them to anything that's going on. It's normal life. I mean, we never open the TV. Unless if it's something that the kids wants to see. My husband said, no, after it will over, we'll talk about it. We didn't think it's going to continue till today. And then one of my kids phoned me and said they're on the roof. One of my students with his parents, because the terrorists got inside their house, their apartment, and he doesn't know what to do. I asked him, why are you calling me? But we have that kind of relations, because I'm a homeroom teacher. I'm with them 4 years. I love them. They trust me. I know everything about them. And he called me, so I had to be calm and tell him he should call the police. Call the police. Put your head down and call the police. Just stay there. Make sure that the door is locked on the roof. And stay there till the police will come, and then we hang up. What I didn't know is that also the police was attacked by the terrorists, and they couldn't come to nobody in Sderot. And that day I didn't broke up. I mean, I was strong. I have one kid of mine, one student. in one of the texted that I saw that I was writing him back. His father is emergency driver, a medical assistant, paramedic, I think you call it. So he had to go. And he said he's all alone in the room, and his mother is not there yet because she was in finishing the night shift on one of the factories that she's working. And he said that he was scared and he can hear the shooting. What should he do? And the kids respond, stay in the safe room, don't go out, block the door and everything. And I just said, I tried to calm him down. I asked him not to get out from the safe room, to lock it. And I wrote him, if you need me, I can come over. I will come over. But I'm sure they will come soon, your mother. His father went to help to the wounded people on the street. I will stop for a second and I'll say, this kid who's been all by himself in the safe room, actually, during the war, one of the things is that we had to study, we had to teach them, and they had to study to give them stability, to give them a normal life a bit. He called me and he asked me if that's okay, that he will not study, and he's not going to participate in the class because he wants to volunteer and help the people that didn't evacuate from Sderot and cannot go out to buy food. So his name is Idan, and the small thing that makes them my hero. I have one kid in my class that his cousin is one of the kidnapped girls who returned after 51 days. He lost a lot of weight during the war, and he heard all the horrible things, what happened. Zohar and I also in charge of the vacuuming the kibbutz. And we were doing that. As I said, we were functioning. I was functioning the whole day. And I didn't have time to breathe because everybody needed us until Zohar, what she said about Mayan. Mayan was my student, my ex-student. And as she said, the terrorist took her mother's phone, but they also shot them with a camera in every angle. And I got also messages from one of my friends. She sent me that video, and I was watching it. And Mayan was also a member of my volleyball team. I'm a professional volleyball team, and she's playing in the same role that I am. So she was kind of my protege. And I opened the video and I saw her mother, Yael, Shachar, and Tzachi had a blood in his hand, which is okay. But the only thing that's not okay is that I found out she's dead through that because Yael was asking, where's my sisters? My sister is dead in the room. And then when I hang up, I called my captain of the team and I asked her. if she was crying, I was crying. And I asked her if why she's crying, and she said, my aunt is dead. And in that point, I didn't think about anything. I just ran to my sister's house. She lived 3 houses away. I went to say goodbye from her because I didn't know when I'm going to see her. And that was the point when I felt like I'm not that strong anymore. I told my husband when I came back home after I said goodbye to her that we have to do something, because people were posting things, screaming and saying they're burning up all of my friends. And we were waiting the whole time to evacuate, that they will let us know when we can evacuate. After 30 hours, actually after 22 hours, we got a call in the middle of the night telling us that to pack up all our things fast, quiet, and to be ready to be evacuated with buses. And the buses didn't came. I packed up everything. I was a super mom. And I put it on I asked for my husband to put it on the Jeep quietly and make also a room for the dog that we are taking. And we waited. In the meantime, we had to make a list of all the people that want to evacuate from the kibbutz. Not everybody wants to evacuate. Some people doesn't believe, and some people are. Some people think that they can fight in their houses. Usually, every round that we have, every military operation you call it, military operation when we have in the area, I'm the last one to evacuate the kibbutz. Because we are, Zohar and I, evacuating, somebody has to go first to the place that where we evacuate, and I'm the last one to leave. And this time I think I was among the first one to leave the area. I told my husband that the minute the kids are awake and we have the okay, we're going to leave, we're going to drive. He wanted to drive from the main road, but because he didn't know what's going on, he didn't want to know. We started to argue, and I told him that we're not going to go on the main road, we're going to go in the backyard where the Iron Dome is. We argue because he said there's a terrorist probably in the area. And I said, I don't care. I just don't want my kids to see all the burning cars and the bodies on the way. Otherwise, they won't be healed from that. One of my students just came back in that morning from Kfar Aza. In a miracle, he came home. And 2 of his group didn't. He was hearing the whole conversation while they were shot from the terrorist. And he decided he is not going to talk. And when he was evacuated from his house, apartment in Sderot, he saw all the bodies and the car burned and everything. He couldn't handle it, so he decided he's not going to talk to anybody. He had a selective mute selective. Ilmut selectivit. Selective mute. It took me 2 months to convince him that it's okay. That that it's okay. I'm a communication teacher. I teach all my kids that violence is not the solution for anything. And if they say they hate the Arabs or anything like it, I teach them that that's the terrorist group over there in Gaza. It's not the Palestinian, it's not the normal people. And we were hosting in my house Palestinian up to the 6th of October, and I don't trust anymore. It took me a while to trust people, not because they're Palestinian, Muslim, or Jewish, or Christians, because I was afraid. And like Zohar said, we had to go to funerals, a lot of funerals. I went to a lot of ex-students of mine. And teachers, colleagues. 4 weeks after the 7th of October, Lili Tamari was the last funeral. I decided of my colleague that I decided the first time not to go to the funeral, to respect her for her last way, but I couldn't. I was looking for her for 4 weeks. I asked my sister, because she's living in Gaza, maybe she knows the story, what's going on. I asked everybody, everyone that I knew her, I asked, is she alive? Is she okay? She's kidnapped. What happened? Can somebody tells me? Only after they declared that she's got a funeral, my sister told me that she didn't have the courage to tell me that her husband and her were tied up in the living room and they burned them alive. I decided I'm not going to go to any more funerals. And I stopped. But the next day in the morning, I had to teach my students. So when I woke up, I was smiling to them and trying to help them in any way. And sorry for a sec. I decided to go to a delegation and to tell the story and to rising up the awareness of what happened, but I'm sure that each one of you can look in the media and to do criticize, looking, and get all the information, but you can't hear it. I mean, if you see it on the media, you feel immediately like you can ignore it, you know, like you feel distance. And people need to know we're still in war. My family's still evacuated in the north. And I'm still teaching, and I'm driving, and I'm visiting my students, and I'm doing everything that I can to help them. And we need help. Israel needs help. For you to talk about the war, there's no justified for killing people and civilians. If it was against the army, I would be saying they have the rights, everybody have the rights, if it's army against army. But this time it was terrorist group against civilians, nice people, and we're a small community. And many other people from all over the country died over there. They didn't care if it's Arabic or foreigners, worker from Far East, or if it's a Jewish. They just kill people on the street. And we have members that they're still hostages. And I wish they will come back home. And I know them. Forever, but
Thank you very much for being so brave and courageous and sharing your stories with us and with others. Thank you. We're going to turn now to page 193, to the concluding part of our service, to the part before the mourner's Kaddish. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of the love and loss of life and death. And on this Shabbat, we remember David Sean Bailey, Paula Erdley, Jonathan Zaborski, Sophia Friedman, Dr. Herbert S. Waller, Francis Wolfson, Dorothy Geller, Louis Glaugauer Sr., Joseph Rau, Ben Shapiro, Warren Sparks, Gittel Zaller, Janice Balin, Ann Friedman, Ann Leslie Hess, Howard Jacobs, Shoshana Katz, Toby Levy, Evelyn Van Dam, Blanche Planck, Raphael Sims, Rhea Silverstone Abrams, Shirley Katz, Curtis Pittman, Martin Zimov, Jack Sherokowitz, Wanda Goodbab, Natina Tina Kasten, Florence Shorin, Roberta Wasserstrom, Betty Baker, Nellie Gardner, Ella Hamburg, David Goodman, Charles Perman, Elizabeth Schimmel.
We also remember Cynthia Balfe, Julius Fleischman, Eva Jacobson, Charles Rosenthal, Vita Safkovich, Shirley Schaefer, Bud Tackett, Jesse W. Fenwick, William Skip Haynes, Irma Isler, and Pearl Turner.
We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories from our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך לעלם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה משמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Our closing song is Hatikva, the national anthem of Israel and of the people of Israel, the anthem wishing hope, and we should never lose hope. It's on page 374. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us for the oneg that we have and hopefully a chance to show our appreciation and love to the three heroes that came here from Israel. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you never met. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.